Hi, I'm Jem.
And I'm sorry, there's a bird alarm.
I was going to introduce the bird.
I'm Victoria.
And we have a bird outside.
He's
now been quiet.
He's raving.
And this is the Criminal Crack. Episode 4, baby.
Episode 4. It's amazing we're here.
It is. It's not amazing we're here, like on Earth, but...
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, true. It's episode 4, although we did do one bonus, so it will look like episode 5.
Technically, we did a bonus, but the gremlins messed it up, so Gemma ended up doing the bonus alone.
I know, I was so sad.
But it was really good. I listened the other day.
Great.
I was going to suggest that you need to keep us going with that, but maybe both of us can.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to do it, but I'll give you an update probably through our new TikTok.
We are part of the TikTok nation all of a sudden, which feels really weird. I'm not familiar with TikTok.
Because we're so old.
Because we're so old. But I'm learning, and my son says that I definitely have to be on TikTok. So, okay.
Well, we have got a video up on TikTok at the moment, which is regarding Sean Ritchie from episode 1, and it's doing okay.
Yeah, and the more light we shine on that case as well, because obviously Sean is still missing. Yeah,
the more people we have looking at this case, the better. I think I said in the episode that I heard about the case in 2023, but I'm fairly local and it happened in 2014, so many people don't know. So yeah, we're going to keep pushing Sean's case.
And I didn't know anything about it until Gemma presented that case. And I'm quite moved by that whole thing.
Me
actually.
too. It's awful.
I would like their family to have some conclusion.
What have you been up to?
Mostly work, actually. Just worky. And not a lot else. What about you?
I've been working a lot also, and I have been gutting my house and putting things to the charity shops.
Well, that's good. Good deed. Reducing the carbon footprint.
It is.
Making things recyclable.
Exactly. Before we get
did you come home with anything from the charity shop?
I did not.
I don't believe you.
Believe it, baby.
You left a charity shop empty-handed.
I did.
Wow. Gold star.
I was very good. I did look. Obviously. Before we get into things, we would really, really love it if you guys could follow us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, wherever you're listening to us. If you could check out our socials, we are on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok as The Criminal Crack. We'd love to have you over there. Feel free to comment, chat to us. We welcome it all.
And if you follow on Spotify, it will give you a little notification every time we post an episode, so you don't have to go hunting for links and things.
Exactly. And then when we drop anything extra, bonus-wise for you, you'll know about it straight away.
And there will be some extras.
Bonus content. Victoria, it's your turn this week, so tell me, what is the crack?
I'm just going to give you a little bit of a trigger warning here. This case does involve violent and sexual crimes against a child. So this case begins on the evening of December the 3rd in 1957. The impending full moon and the promise of the first flurries of snow hanging in the air were too inviting for 8-year-old Kathy Sigman and 7-year-old Maria Ridulph to resist. After supper, as the snow started dusting the street outside, and following some pleading with her parents, Maria called Kathy on the telephone to say, "I can go outside tonight, can you?" The two little girls lived a few doors down from each other on Archie Street and met mid-blockish before heading to one of their favourite spots on the corner where Archie Street met Centre Cross Street, aka State Route 23. So this is an American case.
I think that's our first international case.
It may well be. Apart from obviously your bonus episode.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot.
They went to the corner to play a game of Duck the Cars.
Duck the Cars does not sound safe. What on earth is Duck the Cars?
Well, it's not as bad as I think you're imagining. The pair would run between a street pole and around the base of a huge elm tree to duck the lights when they saw the headlights approaching. So their challenge was to go unnoticed.
Okay, so kind of like chicken, but not in front
kind
of
of
the
like
cars.
Chicken, but with the headlights, not with the actual bonnets, hopefully.
Ah, okay. Well, we never did anything like that, but I'm just thinking, do you remember that we used to go to that block of flats near us and go all the way to the top floor and throw out, like, so the stairs went, there was like a hole in the middle, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So you could see all the way down the floors, but it wasn't very big.
It wasn't very wide. It wasn't like a grand staircase, but there was a twisted around staircase, and we go up, and for some reason we take our shoes off and chuck them over,
Well,
and then we're like, we gotta go get our shoes. But
we'd chuck them down that hole.
Yeah, we'd chuck them down the hole in the middle, and then we'd climb over the railing and walk the whole way around the stairs.
On the inside.
The outside of the banister, wouldn't it be? To go fetch our shoes, rather than, because we obviously couldn't go down the stairs in just socks, could we? So we had to, I don't know, parkour.
We couldn't do it normally. We played that, and we played, oh wow, we found a box full of crab legs. Let's chase another kid with them.
Let's chase
Why was there a box of crab legs?
I have no idea. And it was huge. There was a massive, there was so many just dismembered crab pieces. So, yeah, we used to get up to all sorts of shenanigans.
We did.
We had fun. So back to the story. Unfortunately, on this fateful night, it seems that someone did notice the girls. A predator was lurking in the small Midwestern town of Sycamore, Illinois, a place where people left their doors unlocked and nothing bad ever happened. But Sycamore was about to change forever. In the weeks prior to December, the people of Sycamore had become aware of some unusually bawdy activity in the community. One report claims that road signs were being vandalised with lewd images, and another report was made that around 4:15 on the afternoon of December the 3rd, two young girls, not the same girls, two different young girls, were walking near the public library on State Street when a strange man tried to strike up a conversation. The girls felt uncomfortable enough and they quickly ran into a restaurant to avoid speaking with him. But when they emerged from the restaurant, the pavement was littered with about half a dozen explicit photographs of nude women.
Oh, okay.
I know, right? Really
That's
strange.
Bizarre.
And it was obviously his intention for them to see that.
He was getting off on that.
Yeah. He was probably watching them from somewhere, wasn't he? So something was certainly afoot in this small farming town. While Kathy and Maria played on the corner of Archie Street, in the hum of the streetlight overhead, they were approached from the south by an older man, but this is older in the context of them being 7 and 8.
Right.
I think they would have said an elderly man, like a elderly, if it was older. I think this is just older than them. So.
In fairness, when we were that age, elderly was the age we're at now, and I'm certainly not elderly.
I feel it. Kathy would later describe this man as having a slim or slender face and big teeth. He had his dark blonde hair swept back in a ducktail and wore jeans, a sweater with lots of colours in it but no jacket. Whilst Kathy would later confirm that the night was very, very dark, she also stated that it was not too dark for her to see the man under the streetlight shining down. When the man spoke, his voice was high and thin, and he introduced himself as Johnny.
Oh.
The man asked the girls if they liked dollies and offered them a piggyback ride. Maria accepted, and when her and Johnny returned from the first piggyback ride, Maria trotted home to find a doll. So I'm assuming that when he's been carrying her around, he's been talking a bit more about Dolly and trying to get her to go fetch one. So she went off, and choosing a nice doll with a new dress, her mother Frances recalls that she suggested to Maria she take an older doll out to play, saying, "You don't want to take the one with the new dress." So obviously Maria had been home, but no mention of the man. So had he also said, "Don't tell anybody"? That's speculation, of course, but you can imagine the conversation, can't you? Whilst they waited under the streetlight, Kathy studied the strange man, who asked if she'd like to go for a trip or a walk around the block, and she declined. When Maria ran back to Kathy and Johnny, Kathy headed home briefly to get some mittens for her cold hands. She invited her friend to go with her, but Maria didn't want to go. From that, I get a sense that Kathy was really a little bit uncomfortable with this man and was trying to get her friend to go with her.
Yeah.
When Kathy returned with her mittens, Maria and the man were gone.
Oh, no.
Kathy headed to Maria's house, assuming that she had gone home, and announced, "Maria's lost." Maria's 11-year-old brother Charles, who was listening to records with a friend, told Kathy that she must be hiding from you and instructed her to keep looking. So Kathy headed back down the street calling her friend's name before eventually heading to her own home and telling her mother about Maria and the man who called himself Johnny, and Kathy's mother called the police.
Oh, thank God, straight away.
Straight away. I'm assuming she would have also called Maria's folks as well. Word of the missing child spread quickly through the small town of approximately 7,000 residents, and many volunteered to come out to join the neighbourhood search. Coinciding with the search, initial police efforts included door-to-door inquiries. Maria was described as having dark brown hair cut into a bob with bangs. She had brown eyes, was 3'6" tall and only 3.5 stone. so she was a littly.
Aww.
Last seen wearing black corduroy trousers, a tan-coloured boyish coat, a black and white check shirt, hand-knitted mittens, brown socks, and white shoes with leather tassels. So she sounds like a cool little trendsetter.
Aww.
Now, the doll Maria had gone home to fetch was found outside a neighbour's garage, although some suggest it had not been there shortly before and the first time that they'd checked the area. So that makes me wonder if they were waiting in, or he had her somewhere and scarpered when he saw people looking, maybe,
or took cover when people were walking about and then maybe made a run for it.
Yeah. This doll was sent away for testing, but no results were ever presented. Police stopped and searched every vehicle that entered and left Sycamore in the following days, but no clues were found. This is horrible. Maria's 11-year-old brother Charles, or Chuck as he was known, was assigned to a search party on the morning of the 4th of December, so the very next morning.
He was sent out to look for his own sister?
Yeah, he was 11 years old and assigned to a search party to look.
That's horrible.
Can you...
he should not be the one to find her.
Mm-mm. They even sent him down, they asked him to climb down a manhole because he was the only one that was small enough.
But what if he'd gone down there and found her all battered and bruised, and that's just trauma.
It's not okay, is it?
Trauma.
That experience for him, even though he didn't find her, that experience must have left a mark forever.
Of course.
Hand in hand, the volunteers walked in lines through frozen cornfields. Now, they did find a bloodied petticoat, but it didn't belong to Maria, which I find really peculiar. There's no more information about that either.
Well, she had trousers on.
She had trousers on,
so whose petticoat was that then? And bloodied as well.
Bloodied.
Was somebody else missing?
No mention of anyone else missing, but that I find really bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And I did try and find more information about the bloodied petticoat, but that was the one mention I could find. You won't like this. They also found an abandoned sack of kittens, or a sack of abandoned kittens.
Who does that?
I know.
If you're going to abandon kittens, just bring them to Jem. Jem will take them.
Jem will take all the kittens, and the puppies, and the guinea pigs, and the rabbits, and the giraffes.
I'm not so keen on a giraffe, but I would really like a trash panda, so if anybody can make that happen, that would be great. And a quokka.
What was that? Now, they're not the ones with the square poop.
You bring up the square poop every time. No, quokkas are the ones that have no natural predators, so they're not scared of anything.
Oh, that's cool.
No, because they're so thick. They're like,
right.
You know Kevin from The Office? He's a quokka.
He's a quokka. So it's wombats with the square poop, I think.
Possibly.
Yeah. Sorry, back to the poop. What were the things you told me? The mini squirrels or something?
Oh, sugar gliders. They're amazing.
So cute.
So cute.
I made the mistake of showing Theo and he's like, yeah, want one.
Oh, they are too cute.
You'd have to have two,
wait.
though, wouldn't you?
You're talking about the actual mini squirrels that were for sale locally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sugar gliders are better, though.
Are they the ones with wings?
They're the ones with wings that look like... Have you ever seen the film Waiting with Ryan Reynolds, where they all work in a restaurant?
Yes, I have.
And there's the guy in the kitchen that'll get his ball sack out and he pulls it out at one point, and that's what the wings look like. This is not a podcast for children.
I could have done without that mental image, actually.
I know, but I couldn't live without giving you that mental image.
Oh. So Maria had disappeared without a trace. Maria's disappearance quickly became the focus of the national press, and within days the FBI were involved, with 2 agents setting up residence in the Ridulph's parlour, with J. Edgar Hoover and the president at the time, which was Eisenhower, requesting daily updates. The search utilised crop dusters, sorry, trust you, military planes and riders on horseback. Crawl spaces were searched and a local quarry was drained for fear that Maria might have had an accident. But it was clear that foul play was more than likely. Kathy, the only eyewitness and only 8 years old, was now under 24-hour police surveillance. Over the course of the investigation, she was shown thousands of mugshots and even subjected to medical checks to rule out sexual molestation.
That's horrifying. Did she suggest that anything had happened to her?
No.
I feel like that's putting a kid through something they don't need to get put through. And also, when you say she was under
medical checks, though, why couldn't they just ask the poor girl?
But also, when you say about surveillance, what do you mean by that? Do they think that maybe Maria's just hiding somewhere?
There was a worry that he might have wanted both of them.
Oh, so he might come back.
Mm.
Okay.
And of course, they don't know who it is, do they? They don't know who Johnny is. It was assumed that this was a sexual predator that was responsible. So, already early on in this, they're assuming that. Residents were urged to remain vigilant. They were urged to keep porch lights on and report anything suspicious. Okay. A description of Johnny was being circulated, and just 3 days after Maria's disappearance, an anonymous female caller alerted the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office to a boy she named Treshna.
Treshna, that's an odd name.
Who lived in the neighbourhood and fit the description. On the 8th of December, the FBI would call at the Tessier household on Centre Cross Street, the home where 18-year-old John Tessier lived.
John?
Yeah. Lived with his parents and 5 siblings. 2 of John's sisters overheard their mother say to officials that John had been home on the night of the 3rd of December, but peculiarly, this was something that they knew to be untrue. Their mother and father had gone out to help with search efforts, and the children who were home, Jeanne, Mary and Bob, had been told to lock the front door, and their father had secured a piece of plywood, wedging the interior of the side door because it didn't lock.
But, wait, hang on. Somebody has abducted a child.
Yeah.
Both parents of this household have decided to go out and look, even though their side door doesn't lock, but it's okay because they've whacked up a bit of MDF. Is it just me, or is that horrifying?
Or do they know that their children aren't under threat?
Because they think John's done something, but then...
Are they actually out looking for him?
But then why... I'm conflicted, because then why would they put
Tell
the
them
MDF?
to barricade the door.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep up appearances.
Find it really strange that both of them would go to search and leave their little children in the house, but okay.
Yeah. Mary was instructed to lock the front door behind her parents and to only open it when they returned. She fell asleep in the living room at around 11:45, and her brother John notably was still not home. She wasn't roused until her parents returned in the middle of the night.
The middle of the... Okay, keep your mouth shut, Jem.
After a week, the police and FBI had tracked down 250 leads.
Ooh.
They'd processed 200 suspects, all with negative results, but at the time still had approximately 125 leads to go. And although John Tessier's name was amongst them, it seems he had offered a substantial alibi, which his parents had now supported. And for now, this line of inquiry had been concluded.
So wait a minute, they're processing all these people, but if he's gave an alibi, they've not actually checked that out properly. So how many of these people did they actually check out properly?
How many? Yeah, they're processing an awful lot of people and writing them off very, very quickly. So Christmas came and went. Maria's presents remained unopened, and on April the 26th of 1958, skeletal remains were discovered under an uprooted tree on Roy Cahill's farm, approximately 500 feet from the roadside in Woodbine, Illinois, and this was approximately 90 miles from where Maria was kidnapped.
Oh, wow, okay, so she's been moved by car probably then?
Yeah.
Oh.
This was 57.9 miles along the US 20 East Highway, which is a straight stretch of motorway from Rockford, which would take approximately 1 hour, 7 minutes to drive within the legal speed limit. And this information is important for later. So I'll explain why.
And no doubt if you were abducting a child, you wouldn't go over the speed limit, would you? Does this John Tessier drive?
He does. I've looked at the map as well, because I do like to get my bearings and have a little bit of a visual of the... I do the whole thing, with the aeroplane in Indiana Jones on the map where they do the red line. I do that. I like that in my head so that I can go, oh yeah, right.
I just use Google Maps and go down the streets, but okay, you do you, boo.
She's so clever. I keep telling you, she's so clever. But yeah, that Centre Cross Street where they were playing, there is a straight highway going right up there. So the remains had been found by moral mushroom hunters who informed the sheriff of rural Joe Davies County. The sheriff, and you're going to love this, Emma Two-Gun Grebner.
Ooh, Two Guns. She sounds like a gal I can get on board with.
Her 2 deputies, one of which was Emma's hubby, and the coroner were admittedly in over their heads, with coroner James T. Furlong saying he had never handled a murder case.
And that's fair enough. Like, a lot of places haven't. They've got little places.
And, there's always going to be a first, isn't there? So, but his next move seems to solidify the fact that they're in over their heads, because according to the Chicago Tribune, he disallowed photos to be taken at the deposition site because he didn't want to see pictures of the body slobbered all over the front pages. And although this could have just been a restriction to news media photographers, it seems like it was any photos.
Oh, wait a minute,
forensic
you mean...
or otherwise.
Oh, I thought you just meant the newspapers, which is understandable, but you're telling me he never took any photos of the scene?
Couldn't find
before
anything.
They moved her?
No.
Oh, for God's sake.
I know.
So that's Deputy Doodle then?
Doofy. Yeah. The funeral director and coroner assisted in recovering the remains of a female child from among some timber. The body was found on the ground. It had some clothes and one sock on it. And I'm sorry that they keep saying it and the body, and it's very
impersonal,
disconnected.
Cold.
But I think they have to disconnect because of the vicarious trauma that can go along with being close to these scenes and seeing and hearing. And
I think that's fair. So you're not choosing to say it. It's because that's how the reports are written.
It's a coping strategy, I guess. According to Furlong, the body was in bad shape from the length of time it was out in the timber.
Okay. How long was it now?
So this was April.
She went missing before Christmas.
And went missing December, yeah. 11:30 on the night of April the 26th in 1958, Dr. Trumner conducted the autopsy at the Furlong funeral home. Furlong, the DeKalb County State's Attorney, the members of the Illinois State Police, and along with agents from the FBI attended the autopsy. The body was identified as 7-year-old Maria from dental records, so it is definitely her. The body was clad in one brownish tan ankle-length sock, a soiled black and white check shirt, and a cotton knit undershirt, so she had no bottoms on.
Oh no, wow.
These are some quotes that I took directly from the autopsy report. It is impossible to recognise evidence of laryngeal or hyoid fracture, so that would imply she's not been strangled.
Mm-hmm.
It was complete in the sense of skeletal articulation, so no parts missing or dismembered.
Okay.
Known trauma prior to the subject's disappearance, namely a laceration on the sole of the left foot and a probable vaccination scar on the left thigh.
Oh, that's interesting. So
it wasn't completely skeletal.
There was skin, some skin.
I think they said the skin under where there was still clothes. Relating to the cause of death, Dr. Trumner stated that I can draw no conclusion on this subject. He elaborated by stating that the poor preservation of the body due to effects of the elements and the ravages of small animals rendered this doubtful from the offset.
Okay, he doesn't have a method, but he knows that it was homicide.
Yeah.
Because she didn't put herself there.
No. Now, Maria was buried in 1958, where a cortege of more than 300 attended to pay their respects.
That's sad. A little coffin.
I know. One article I read claimed that Two-Gun Grebner, the sheriff in the area where Maria's remains were discovered, apparently she said she didn't intend to investigate the case because it didn't take place in Joe Davies County.
I'm sorry, what? They don't know where that baby was killed.
No.
She's really let me down.
I know, the name is just such a...
Well, even like a woman in that position, you think, oh yeah, come on, like do it for the girls sort of thing.
And yeah, also a woman in that position in that era.
She had no professional curiosity at all then.
It seems not. I can't get my head around it, to be honest. And it's not like they would have been too busy to... Oh, I don't know. Anyway, if this is true, it's ludicrous and it touches on something we've mentioned before, doesn't it? Because police jurisdiction and the pissing contests that seem to go on between neighbouring forces, and especially in America.
It's sort of the opposite though, isn't it? Because usually when you hear about these issues, they're fighting to be the ones that deal with it, and she's just like, nah, you're all right, I'm actually busy, there's a cat in a tree that I'd like to get, and I'd need to know where my husband is at all times. So that I just like her employing her husband, come on.
I know, right?
It's like, and I'm really sorry if you're one of these people, but it's like those people that share a Facebook account with their partner because they don't trust each other.
Sometimes I think those shared Facebook accounts, though, because one of them wants to do it and the other one's like, whatever.
No, just have your own Facebook account then. It's weird.
Either way, anyway, it seems like hugely significant errors, including missed opportunities for forensic analysis, and
because she couldn't be bothered.
It would all hamper the case, and Maria's murder would sadly be shelved and labelled what we now refer to as a cold case for more than 50 years.
That's awful, and I'm not surprised. Did
Sorry,
something
a bird just flew into the window.
Wait a sec, I'm going to go and have a look and see if it's alive.
It was a sparrow. Is it all right?
Can't see it, so it must have flown away.
Okay.
What were we saying? Sorry. Oh yeah, it's gone cold for 50 years. Well,
50 years, yeah.
Little surprise when there was no photos taken of the crime scene. One area was like, no, we're just not going to bother looking into this.
And they ruled out suspects
really
very
quickly.
It seems, yeah.
Shame on them. Can I ask a quick question?
You may.
Did the guy from the start with the filthy pictures that he left out for those other two little girls, did his description match the one that Kathy gave?
I don't know. I believe it did.
I can't take you seriously while you're pulling eyelashes
Sorry,
out.
there's something in my eyelash. I think it did. I think I read that somewhere, and I should have probably included it because it's quite important. Let's go with yes.
Okay.
Match completely.
It was him.
Yeah.
He'd done it.
I'm just going to carry on with this bit and I'll see what you make of it once I've read a bit.
Okay.
While Maria's family and loved ones likely never passed a day without thinking of the little girl, the case had long faded from people's minds, lying dormant and forgotten. But for one woman, the memory of Maria's disappearance had lingered like a shadow, haunting her soul since that cold December night.
Oh, Kathy?
No.
Oh.
Lying in a hospital bed, connected to a morphine drip and facing the final stages of cancer, Eileen Tessier called her youngest daughter Janet to her side.
She knows something.
Mama Tessier.
I'm not going to like her, am I?
Her eyes wide and urgent, she grabbed Janet's wrist, pulled her close and told her, "Those two little girls. One disappeared. John did it."
And she's waited all this time. What, because she's on her deathbed, so she can't face any repercussions or have to look anybody in the eye?
Well,
she saw Kathy's mum and dad.
I know. That's that small community where she lived with those people that were... Yeah.
She's doing that for herself. She's probably confessing before death.
Yeah.
I don't respect that at all.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about that now. Knowing that death was near, perhaps Eileen could no longer bear the weight of the secret she'd held for 37 years, and with those words, the temperature of a long, cold case began to slowly rise. Eileen urged Janet to tell someone. Maybe it was the effects of the morphine loosening her lips, or maybe the fear of facing the afterlife with such a heavy burden had finally overtaken her silence. Or perhaps she had simply stopped fearing the consequences. After all, any punishment for her role would now be meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
Both she and her husband had shielded their son with a false alibi the night Maria disappeared.
The husband knew as well? That's disgusting.
So a crime that could have made them both criminally liable due to their prior contrary statements that they had given to the police and the FBI as well.
Yeah, but they just didn't have to make those statements. They had to say, look, we're not saying our son's done something, but we can't vouch for him.
We don't know where he is. He's not here. But when you hear his alibi as well, why would they have not just said that straight away?
What was his alibi?
I'll go into it.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right. Now that dark and buried truth belonged to Janet, and she knew she had to speak. But how would she approach this? Who would she tell? And who would even listen to her? Janet was one of John Tessier's half-sisters, and although she had been just an infant when Maria vanished, she grew up in a household where stories of boogeymen and child snatchers loomed large. Over time, she began to piece together fragments of overheard conversations, especially those whispers between her older sisters about the fateful night of December the 3rd. Now, despite being urged by some family members, including her father Ralph, to leave the past buried, Janet felt a deep sense of responsibility to speak out, and she made several attempts to contact Sycamore police, but her concerns were brushed aside.
Oh, for goodness sake.
As she described it, she was subjected to the bureaucratic shuffle, her claims dismissed and redirected with little seriousness. Then Janet learned that the case had been officially closed on November the 19th, 1997.
Wait, how do you close a case where you've not caught anybody? And why are you closing the case? Sorry, a fly just flew at me. Why are you closing that case?
So Detective Patrick Solar, who was also an acquaintance and friend of the Tessier family, had attributed Maria's murder to another person, William Henry Redmond, a transient trucker whose appearance and MO bore some resemblance to that of Johnny. Redmond's details were found in the FBI database, which Solar had been scouring, as he'd been suspected, but I need to add, never charged in the 1951 murder of an 8-year-old girl in Pennsylvania. Now, he died in 1992, and with that, the case was considered resolved.
So he never... Hang on, 2 ticks. Did he get charged with the murder of Maria and abduction of Maria?
No.
So it's not a closed case. You can't just decide.
He said
Did they test
it was a
his
similar
DNA?
look and a similar MO, but I've looked at the picture of this guy, and he did not look like...
Oh, maybe you do
the
a side-by-side
description.
for
So,
the listeners.
That might be good. Put it on TikTok. It's great for a podcast, isn't it?
It is.
For many in Sycamore, this explanation brought a certain comfort. The idea that a stranger had committed such a horrific act in their small town was easier to accept than the possibility that one of their own could possibly be responsible. Dissatisfied with that conclusion, though, Janet eventually found a tip line on the Illinois State Police website and composed the following email. Sycamore, Illinois, December 1957. A 7-year-old girl named Maria Ridulph disappeared. Her remains were discovered several miles away in a different county in the early spring of 1958. I continue to believe that John Samuel Tessier of Sycamore, Illinois, now known as Jack Daniel McCullough, is responsible for her death. He is currently living in the Seattle-Tacoma, Washington area under the name Jack Daniel McCullough. I've previously provided information to the person in charge of the Sycamore cold case. I've done so multiple times. Nothing ever comes of it. This will be the last time I raise this with anyone. The information I have makes Tessier/McCullough a credible suspect, someone worth investigating. But I can't keep doing this. It's emotionally draining and brings up painful, terrible memories. And at exactly 1:04 p.m. on September the 11th, 2008, Janet clicks send.
He's changed his name, so has he been in trouble again? Is that why he's changed his name?
Oh, you
I've got
wait.
so many questions.
You wait. He is not an upstanding citizen, let's say. The desperation of her words caught the attention of a state police commander based in Elgin.
Oh, I lived in Elgin and you lived in Elgin and we lived in Elgin.
This is Elgin in America, though.
It's one of them. Oh, wait, is it Illinois?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a screenshot somewhere. Not a screenshot, I took a picture of a screen when I was watching Prison Break years and years and years ago, and Elgin, Illinois came up. I'll see if I can find it. I'm going to take a note of that.
Put it in. We can go look. We know about this place already. Now, I apologise. I don't know how to pronounce this name, so you might want to guess.
Spell it.
The surname is spelled Rapacz, or ACZ if you're American. Rapax.
Check, maybe? I don't know. I'm so sorry.
I'm just going to call this guy Tony, okay? And that is his first name, so I'm not just being weird. So the desperation of her words had caught the attention of this state police commander based in Elgin. Tony Rapax called Janet and listened while she told him what she knew. Tony made no promises but felt there was some credibility to her story, and his 25 years on the force had taught him the importance of pursuing even the smallest lead.
Okay, good boy.
So he put agents Larry, Cott and Brian Hanley on the case. Reinvestigating a cold case, especially one that had sat untouched for over 40 years, required extensive groundwork. Cott and Hanley had to track down former Sycamore residents, including the sole eyewitness from that night, which was Kathy Sigman, now known as Kathy Chapman. But you've got to bear in mind a lot of people had passed away as well. This really was a difficult one to investigate, and we already know about the failings at the beginning.
Yeah, 2
of the
guns.
case.
She was bloody useless, wasn't she?
They interviewed Tessier's former classmates and pored over decades-old case files, physical evidence and phone records. And as their investigation unfolded, they began to uncover troubling aspects of John Tessier's past, disturbing secrets within the Tessier family itself, and inconsistencies that raised serious questions about the original 1957 timeline.
Oh.
Yeah. As part of the renewed inquiry, on September the 1st, 2010, Special Agent Brian Hanley contacted Kathy Chapman. She shared everything she could recall, though the process clearly reopened old wounds.
Yeah.
And sensing her discomfort, Hanley ended the conversation for the moment.
Good.
Which I respect that.
He sounds a decent person. What year are we in again, sorry?
So this is Brian, so I don't know if it's a male or female, sorry.
Oh, okay, but what year are we?
2010.
2010, okay.
Yeah. 8 days later, Hanley returned to Kathy's with a photo lineup. As Kathy scanned the 6 images, so there was only 6 images, but that's a normal lineup, isn't it? But as she scanned, she paused, pointed to one and said, "That's Johnny."
Oh, she knew straight away.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting, though, is that nobody who heard the description of Johnny from the kids linked it to this Johnny Tessier when they were a local family as well.
They did, though.
Did I know that?
The anonymous person.
Oh, well, apart from the
call.
anonymous person, but you would think there would be more if that family was well known. Anywho, sorry.
I haven't included it, but I did read about that because actually it's quite disturbing because I watched a video of the main suspect, this John Tessier, and the way he spoke about Maria was, and this was noted by loads of law enforcement people, it was actually, he gushed over her. They said he would glow when he started talking
and
about
nobody did
her,
anything.
and he also remembered, and this I find really strange, he said the last time he saw her, she was, in one thing he said she was 3, in another thing he said she was 5, and he told her to go home because she was out on the street on her own, but he described everything she was wearing.
That's creepy. Tell me you're a predator without telling me you're a predator.
Right. So the photo from the lineup that Kathy had identified was in fact of John Tessier, now living under the name Jack Daniel McCullough. By this point, the only eyewitness, Tessier's own mother, and even the anonymous caller back in 1957 had all identified him as the mysterious Johnny. So why did the FBI accept his alibi at the time and eliminate him from further investigation?
Okay.
Could his story really stand up to the scrutiny? And we should take a closer look, but it does get a bit complicated.
Okay.
So bear with. He also goes by multiple names, but I am going to call him John Tessier for the sake of
That's
keeping
his
it
name?
simple. Well, actually, his birth name was John Cherry. So,
John Cherry.
yeah, and his nickname was Cherry. But he had another nickname as well, Commando, because he used to go around in army fatigues.
I ain't gonna go commando in another man's fatigues.
So there's a lot of background on this guy, but I just tried to stick with the most important, I think the most relevant parts, which gives you the story. And then if you want to look, you can, and I'll share everything and all the sources as we always do. Mm-hmm. And we can put some stuff on TikTok and we can put some stuff on our Facebook and yada, yada, yada. It'll all be there.
But also, you mentioned that at least one of the police officers was a family friend, so that maybe explains
And he's
some
the one
of it.
that closed the case as well. So.
Yeah.
So John Tessier claimed he wasn't in Sycamore on the night Maria disappeared. He stated that he'd travelled to Chicago by train for an entry-level physical exam for the US Air Force.
All right, okay.
Now, his presence at the recruitment office was indeed confirmed, but that exam took place on the morning of December the 2nd.
Oh.
And Tessier failed the physical due to a spot detected on his lung during an x-ray. He claimed he then stayed overnight at the YMCA and returned to the recruitment office the next morning of December the 3rd for a follow-up, where he again failed the physical. I don't know why he'd go twice.
You've already been told no, dude. Take a hint.
From there, Tessier said he spent the time wandering around Chicago and attending a few burlesque shows before taking a train to Rockford. Now, remember I said Rockford was an hour and a bit from...
Yeah, you mentioned
an hour and 7
Rockford,
minutes.
because it made me think of the Rockford Files, and then I started thinking about Rockford cheese.
Oh, gee. He claimed he made a collect call to his stepfather, Ralph Tessier, to request a ride home.
Stepfather, okay.
There was a collect call made from Rockford to the Tessier household at 6:57 on December the 3rd. However, the call came from an unspecified location, possibly even the outskirts of Rockford, and the caller's name was recorded as Tessier, not Tessier.
And also, that could be anybody. They're not recorded.
They don't know who might have accepted the call at the household. They can't
Exactly.
prove it was Ralph. The call lasted just 2 minutes, and for me, this doesn't line up because it doesn't seem like long enough to explain you'd failed the medical twice, asked for a lift, instruct someone to where
Why
you
didn't he
want
just
picking
get
up.
the train home?
Yeah, it doesn't make
Doesn't
sense.
add up. Nope.
Tessia also claimed that later that evening, around 7:15 or 7:30, he spoke with Colonel Libowitz of the Air Force Reserve and said he'd been directed to the Rockford recruiting office. But this detail raised an eyebrow. Libowitz found the story implausible since the recruitment office would not have been open at that time of night.
Oh yeah, they don't stay open all night, dude.
And then on December the 4th, so the day after Maria disappeared, Tessia, who also went by the name Cherry, as I said, returned to the Rockford recruiting office again. Mm-hmm. Why he was back, I have no clue.
To make an alibi, maybe?
Yeah. You're so clever.
I know. I'm so switched on today. It's remarkable.
Amazing. Staff Sergeant John Oswald met him for the first time and provided an account of their conversation. According to Oswald, Tessia randomly remarked that it was a good thing he hadn't been in Sycamore the previous night, when a girl had gone missing.
If they weren't so stupid, they wouldn't get caught. I mean, it took a while, and hopefully they do catch this bastard.
Just bear with. No further details of this disappearance were discussed, other than the fact that the search parties were out looking for her. So Tessia told Oswald as well he wouldn't be considered a suspect anyway, because his girlfriend's father was a deputy sheriff.
There it is. There's the connecting piece.
Yeah. But he also had a little black book with him, which he showed to Oswald.
I didn't think those were real things.
And addresses of girls in Sycamore, but along with their bust and hip measurements.
But if he's looking at children, they don't have bust and hip measurements. And was it children? Is it like little kids?
God knows. Oswald remembers. It's a weird thing to carry around, though, isn't it? And how did he get bust and hip measurements? Oh, anyway. Oswald remembered that Tessia wore a flashy, oddly coloured top and a string necktie, and that he was also boasting a fresh-looking cut across his upper lip.
Like somebody had fought back, maybe.
I bloody hope she did.
Yeah.
Tessia claimed that he had been issued a train ticket to travel from the Chicago recruitment office to Rockford.
Okay, where is it then? Why are you not using it for home?
However, according to Oswald, that would have been a highly irregular procedure.
Oh.
But that raises more questions because Tessia had his own car at the time, so why didn't he drive to Chicago himself? And if he had his own transport, why was he looking for a ride from his stepfather or relying on train tickets in the first place unless he knew he needed an alibi?
Or do we think that, he needed an alibi, but also maybe that car was a mess?
Yeah, Tessia claimed that after returning to Sycamore on the night of December the 3rd, he went on a date with his girlfriend, Jan Edwards. However, when Jan was located during the re-investigation, her account told a different story completely. She recalled that her parents were so alarmed by the news of a child abduction that they refused to let her leave the house that night.
Oh, that sounds like a normal parent.
I know, right? She stated clearly that she never saw John that evening. In fact, Jan and her friend had been busy decorating a shop for Christmas when the news broke. They heard sirens and were quickly contacted by Jan's father, who instructed them to lock up the store. Both girls were picked up and taken home, and Jan confirmed that she had no contact whatsoever, not even on the telephone, with John Tessia that night.
And just to ask, because I'm nosy, did she say anything about what her relationship with him was like? Like, would this have been a complete shot in the dark to think that he had done something this awful?
I'm not sure. I didn't. We should probably look a bit more into that. There are details of later relationships in his life.
I'm assuming they don't go well. Okay.
So during the reinvestigation, Jan also provided investigators with a photo of her and Tessia at a dance in 1957. Now, this makes me sort of go shudder because the back of the photo was signed Love Johnny, but there was more. When the photo was removed from its cardboard frame, so you remember those cardboard ones, like the school photos you used to get, like those brown cardboard. I've still got some somewhere.
Yeah, so do I.
But when it was removed from that cardboard frame, Agent Hanley discovered a small piece of yellow paper tucked behind it. A government-issued train ticket.
Oh.
Meant to transport Tessia from Rockford to Chicago on December the 2nd, 1957. But
so
wait,
he wasn't lying about that. But he never used it.
Wait. Notably, the ticket was unused. It had never been punched. So how did he travel to Chicago if he hadn't gone by train?
Son of a bitch. Got you.
The train ticket was actually submitted to the Illinois Central Railroad Historical Society, which verified its authenticity and confirmed that it had never been punched. And detectives began to wonder what else Tessia might have lied about. But also, he must have put that in that frame. It's a little Easter egg, isn't it?
It's a little Easter egg. It's a little, look what I did.
They'll never catch me. Ha 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 ha. Yeah.
But then, did she still have that picture?
She still
all
had that
those
picture
years later.
all those years later.
See, it's like he wanted her to know.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people, they do drop things because, like, the thrills, like, once they've done what they've done, the thrill's kind of gone. So the thrill
Sorry, I'm nodding
caught.
along with Gemma because everything she's saying is, yeah, exactly what I'm thinking.
But the
yeah.
thrill of getting caught, maybe they want to do things so that one day they might get to feel that thrill again.
Yep, absolutely. He put that there for a reason, and he signed it Love Johnny for a reason.
Scumbag.
In 1957, Tessier drove a Battleship Grey 1948 coupe with flames painted along the side. He'd painted the flames, by the way. You can imagine, can't you? Hardly a vehicle that blended in as well. So during the reinvestigation, a former high school friend called Dennis Twaddle told the police, I know, I like that name, told the police he had seen that distinctive car cruising through Sycamore around 2:30 on December the 3rd. So not very long before those two girls were approached as well, outside the library.
Is that the sort of car that you would use to abduct a child in, though?
Who knows?
Because
I know it's completely
it just needed to be seen by
inconspicuous.
one person, or maybe that was part of the thrill as well.
While he admitted he couldn't say for certain who was behind the wheel, he did note that Tessier was extremely protective of the car and never let anyone else drive his baby. That was a quote. He also said he'd called Tessier on the night of Maria's disappearance, but John was not at home.
Surprise, surprise.
As investigators revisited the 1957 timeline, they also determined that Maria was likely abducted between 6:05 and 6:20, which was earlier than the FBI had thought originally. And the reason they did this was because a delivery driver who knew Kathy reported seeing the girls at 6:05 when he arrived on the street, but noticed that they were gone by the time he left at 6:20. And additionally, a bus driver passed the corner of Archie Street at 6:30 and observed no sign of the children.
Although eyewitness testimonies are never great, it's easy to get the wrong end of the stick. If you asked me what time I saw somebody, I wouldn't have a bloody clue.
I think with the bus driver, though, they're so...
The bus driver, yes, but the delivery driver...
Even a delivery driver, if he's got a slot that he's got to fill... sorry. I think, and also the fact that he knew one of the girls.
Yeah, okay.
Now, given the possibility that Tessier used his car in the abduction, it became clear that driving the 33.8 miles to the outskirts of Rockford to place a collect call to his stepfather at 1857 was entirely plausible and further placing Tessier within the realm of suspicion. Was Maria in the car whilst he made his presence known in Rockford? Was this always part of the plan? And if the police had pursued this and asked if anyone had seen the car around Rockford at the time, you know, because it's like we say, it's a car you're not going to miss, is it?
No, but that
they didn't
makes me
even
think.
ask.
But then that makes me think. I know it's sort of tying in with things, but it might not have been him driving that car. Could have been the stepdad driving the car. Maybe he took the stepdad's car.
Maybe they switched cars. Oh no, they couldn't have done that. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay.
There were also some glaring inconsistencies in the statements given by John's parents to support his alibi anyway. And
it's hard to keep lies straight, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Initially, they claimed he had been home the entire night, and a statement that contradicted by several of his siblings and friends. And later, they shifted their account, saying he'd been in Rockford and was waiting for a ride home. However, this too was challenged by one of John's sisters, who recalled that their father, Ralph Tessier, couldn't have been to collect John, as her father had driven to collect her from a 4-H youth club meeting, which ended at 7 p.m.
Oh, yeah, okay. But also with the changes of statement, why was that not looked into?
I know.
Again, it's good when you know people in the police force, isn't it?
These people changed, and not just the parents, John himself changed his statements continually to suit things at the time. So every time they found something new, he'd go, oh right, yeah, well no, this is because of
the brass neck. Like, these people that do this and keep coming up with like lie after lie, like on the spot, which is scary in itself, but I don't understand how that's not a red flag to a police officer. Is that not day one of police academy?
Surely it must be. Oh, police academy. That evening, this 4-H youth club meeting as well. So the girl vividly remembers coming back with her father and seeing the street filled with police cars, which you would remember that, wouldn't you? Of course you would, that would be stamped on your mind. Both parents barricaded that side door and joined the search for Maria. You know, they remember this. So, jumping forward a little bit to 2011.
Okay.
John Tessier, also known as Jack McCullough, was arrested on June the 29th. And just 2 days later, on July the 1st, he was formally charged with the abduction of Maria.
Good.
Murder of Maria, not Maria of Maria. Yeah, within 2 days they've charged. So they've got to have something, right?
I'm sorry, but I've got something on him. And I'm just listening to all this claptrap that he put out. Come on, people. And that doll, are they retesting her?
I don't think they have the doll anymore, and that really winds me up.
Or did it
Why
get
didn't they
lost in a
keep it?
move by any chance?
It's amazing how often that happens.
It is, while they're cleaning out their steps for the second time. Little hark back to episode 2 there.
So John was extradited from Washington, where he had been living, back to Sycamore, Illinois on July the 27th. And this was the very same day that Maria's remains were exhumed, in the hope that modern forensic techniques might uncover new evidence.
Oh, wow, okay.
The exhumation was carried out with the full support of the Ridulph family, who had hoped that advances in DNA technology might yield some new evidence. But unfortunately, no DNA could be recovered.
Now, I don't agree that no DNA was recovered because, so if we go back to the day that she was found, none of the procedures were followed. You can imagine how many people touched those bones. So I think they probably had so much DNA, they couldn't work out what was what.
Well, there was it got a bit technical, but there was something to do with moisture in the casket that they couldn't recover DNA.
But DNA doesn't go anywhere.
I don't know. I am not a scientist.
Oh, well, I am. I'm not.
I love science, though. Science rules.
I love, like, little factoids. And I love what we can do with it now.
This new examination did reveal a cause of death.
Oh, and?
Trigger warning.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Forensic anthropologist Krista Latham identified sharp force trauma on Maria's sternum and the vertebrae in her neck.
Oh, no.
She concluded that the child had been viciously stabbed in the throat at least 3 times in a downward motion.
In the throat? And in a downward motion? How tall was this guy?
I don't know. I didn't look at his height.
He has to make... Well, he's
He
a
was
lot
tall and
taller
slim,
than
wasn't
her.
he? Yeah.
He's going to be a lot taller than her, just given their ages, unless he was very, very short, I guess. But he would have had to target her throat for that. That's horrible, that poor baby.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, Maria.
During the extradition process, Tessia reportedly read the affidavit, and upon realising that investigators had discovered that unused train ticket, he changed his story again. This time claiming that he'd hitchhiked both to and from Chicago, abandoning his previous claim as well that his stepfather had picked him up. So he's changed it again.
What a bloody idiot. And is the stepdad still alive at this point? Because he should be getting questioned about this as well.
I think he might have passed by this point.
And face no repercussions. Or repercussions, however you say it.
During the investigations, some new information had come to light, and a dark Tessia family secret was unearthed, and another trigger warning. Before being tried for the abduction and murder of Maria Ridulph, Tessia would be tried for the rape of his half-sister Jeanne.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised, because he just had a thing for little girls, didn't he?
Yeah. Jeanne bravely disclosed that her brother had sexually assaulted her when she was aged 14 during an occasion when John had returned home from military, so he did get into some rounds.
So that spot on the lung never did much then?
No. She remembered being taken to a house near Elmwood Cemetery in Sycamore, which is actually where Maria is buried, where the brother raped her, then passed her on to 2 of his friends.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, and Maria was buried at this point? Oh, like, that's sick. Like, the whole thing is sick.
It is.
Poor Gianna.
This is a horrible story.
Yeah, I don't think you get to pick your own stories very long.
Sorry.
I've got a lovely one about a missing cat.
Jeanne disclosed that her father had also sexually abused her, and worse than that, their mother was aware, so Eileen Tessia took many demons to her grave.
This whole family is absolutely disgusting. Is it any wonder he grew up to be what he was?
Not the whole family.
I mean...
The younger siblings seem to have been...
Well, they're not unscathed. Like, this whole family, like... No, I'm not saying they've done anything. I don't mean that. I mean, like, the mother and the father/stepdad are doing these things. It's no wonder John turned out the way he did. All of those kids must be bloody traumatised.
There's an awful lot in his background. There's an awful lot of deviance as well.
Colour me surprised.
I can include more stories, but I was just trying to focus on Maria's case. Unfortunately, with regard to his sister's disclosure, Tessia was acquitted.
Oh, for goodness sake, why?
I know. So the judge did seem sympathetic and didn't doubt the victim was being truthful, but there was simply insufficient evidence to convict her brother. Since leaving Sycamore, Tessia had served in both the military and, you're going to love this, the police
He was a police
force.
officer, wasn't he?
Yeah. His career in law enforcement ended after he was accused of statutory rape of a minor, one of several allegations of a sexual nature made against him. He was reportedly unpopular among his colleagues.
Wait, so he's got all that in his past, and they're saying there's not enough evidence to take that to trial for his sister.
Yeah, well, not enough evidence to convict, no.
But this is why people don't come forward, because, I didn't know I was going to be sexually assaulted, so I didn't film it. Yeah.
So this was just another disclosure, really. One of Tessia's former girlfriends, who was a model, he'd met whilst he was a struggling photographer. So hold on, remember the photos at the beginning as well?
Oh.
She's mooing. He claimed that while she lived with him...
You're going to have to explain the mooing, but we'll come back to that.
Oh, your noise that you do.
In which episode was it, 1 or 2? At one point, while I was editing, I noticed this sound. Oh! And it's not the mooing, it's a cow giving birth, but it turns out it's just a noise I make. So we just all need to... Guys, calm down.
Yeah.
You just need to get over it. It's just a noise I make, apparently.
We like the noises, it's fine. So he was a struggling photographer, and so one of his former girlfriends said that when she lived with him, his 12-year-old daughter from a previous relationship had been to stay, and she witnessed him...
Oh no, I can't hear him doing this to more people.
So he was witnessed talking suggestively with a banana to her, with like doing a motion with a banana, and just being completely inappropriate to the child, but more alarming. She discovered a photo of the girl taped to the underside of a drawer.
No.
And the child was nude.
I can't...
It's horrendous.
How do beasts like this get to walk the planet when you hear so many cases? Like recently, a young boy went missing in the UK, Cole Cooper, and his body has just been found, and his family have, to say that they kept his case in the forefront.
They have been incredible.
They have.
Even the language they've used, they have been
amazing. And
through what they're going through as well, through the trauma they must be feeling.
And a young boy like that,
respect to them.
We've been following Cole's disappearance and just hoping for a better outcome. So our thoughts do go out to Cole's family. But how does something horrific happen to a young boy like that, and a beast like this gets to carry on walking?
I know.
Sorry, I shouldn't have even used Cole's name in the same air as we're talking about, but he is in our thoughts, and so are the family.
So during the trial, Tessia's own siblings confirmed his absence from the household on that night of Maria's disappearance. They gave descriptions of how he looked at the time, which matched that of Johnny. They were also asked about the colourful hand-knitted sweater specifically that their mother had made him, and claimed that they'd never seen him wear it again after December the 3rd. The prosecution introduced 3 different inmates who had been housed with Tessia, and the cellmates all gave evidence against Tessia, claiming he confessed the murder to them. One claimed Tessia had said he had the victim in his house for quite a while, and that his mum knew about it. But we know that in many cases
they're getting a kickback.
Prison informants often have an ulterior motive for wanting to support an investigation, don't they? So their testimonies aren't always considered the most reliable, even though sometimes I'm sure they are being truthful.
Yeah, but if you're if you're being housed with somebody who's done a crime like that, chances are you've done something similar.
Yeah. So an interesting witness they've spoken about quite a lot in the media I've read is a witness named Pamela Long, and she came forward and described someone named Johnny with blondish brown hair, and she said he had strange teeth, something funny about his teeth, and who used to give her piggyback rides up and down the street.
Hold on, why did this not come out at the time? In the same town?
Yeah, in the same town. So the last time she remembered getting a piggyback ride was when she was in grade school. Johnny wouldn't stop when she asked him to, and she started to scream. She said her father caught up with them and furiously jerked her off Johnny's back and told him to not come near his daughter again.
So when Maria went missing, did the whole piggyback ride thing not come out? Because that, as a parent, if you'd had to deal with somebody doing that with your child, would you not be like, oh, wait a minute?
There was that guy. Yeah, that one guy that one time.
And we all know everybody in Sycamore, so it was John Tessier.
Yeah, maybe it was reported at the time and just overlooked. Who knows?
Or ignored.
Who knows, yeah. 2012, 55 years after Maria Ridulph was abducted and murdered, John Tessier, a.k.a. Jack McCullough, was convicted of the crimes. He was 17 years old when Maria was taken, and now aged 73. He would spend the rest of his life behind bars, closing one of the oldest cold cases in American history.
Why am I not trusting this?
Oh, because we're not done. Now, in 2015, Tessier successfully appealed his convictions for the kidnapping and abduction of Maria. However, his conviction for murder was upheld at the time. For those interested, I'll include 30 pages of court records from the Illinois official reports in our sources. It's a lot to take in. In 2016, Tessier was fully exonerated.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
On what grounds?
So, the following year, I'll go into that. The following year, in 2017, Judge William Brady issued him a certificate of innocence.
Oh my God.
Several contributing factors led to this outcome, including mistaken witness identification, perjury or false accusations, official misconduct, and inadequate legal defence. On April 15th, 2016, Tessier was released from prison. He later filed a federal lawsuit seeking damages for his wrongful conviction.
What a gobshite.
In response, get this, he was awarded more than $4 million in settlements from the cities of Sycamore, Seattle, and the state of Illinois. And additionally, he received $95,000 in state compensation. And it makes me sick to my stomach because I personally believe that they had their guy. Did they gather sufficient evidence to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt? Clearly not, because of the failings at the beginning.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, it must have passed reasonable doubt for a jury
for it to convict.
Yeah, to be
I don't
convicted.
Understand it. Much of the case relied on speculative and hearsay testimony, and reaching a conviction in the first place was maybe surprising. Maybe. I don't know. But it raises a difficult question. Where do we draw the line? You know, where does hearsay and speculative evidence, how much weight can it hold? Surely it's got to hold some weight.
Well, hang on. When he is getting exonerated, then those people who did not do their job at all in this case,
someone, hasn't it?
Yeah, have to pay some sort of penalty because the evidence is there.
Yeah. I just wish that DNA had been gathered in the early stages of the investigation.
Of that doll, if his DNA was on that doll.
Maybe they did what they knew at the time, but I don't know.
But that wasn't even just where they failed. You know, they didn't follow any procedures at all. If you realise, oh God, we found this body, it looks like it's murder. We've never dealt with a murder case before.
Get help.
Get help.
Yeah.
Imagine that was your bloody child lying there.
I know. And don't say, oh, but this didn't happen in our county, so let's wash our hands of it. This case highlights the critical role of scientific advancement within the police. And as we continue to improve forensic techniques, I hope we not only enhance our ability to secure rightful convictions, but also to prevent the heartache of wrongful ones too, because for the families involved, this is tragedy again and again and again.
It is, but I get it. Scientific, what was the word you used? Advancement. Yeah, it's all fine and good, but at the end of the day, you could have all of that, but if the police are cocking about...
Yeah, if they've not gathered and not...
If they've not read Miranda rights, if they've not collated enough other evidence, it just gives a loophole for these arseholes and their defence attorneys to crawl through.
I mean, all these things...
So it's not just that.
Misconduct, inadequate legal defence. Now, I could have put more in about this, but I wanted to focus on Maria, and the fact is, he's got away with this.
He has got away with it. And every time he gets let out or like he's exonerated
or compensated,
he's getting off on that.
And it's very clear that he has a really seedy background. He has inappropriate attraction towards children.
How do you let somebody like that off scot-free?
Like you say, how did these...
And reward them.
How do bad things happen to good people and then these things...
And even worse than that, innocent children who can't possibly have done anything in the world to warrant something like that happen to them.
No defence. No way of defending themselves. I mean, you go back to the method he used.
I know, I can't.
The violence that she faced, it's horrendous. There's also one of Maria's siblings, a sister, who's passed away now. There were excerpts from her diary, and that was absolutely heartbreaking to read. One of it was all through the search. It was all, years later as well. It was all through that Christmas where her presents remained under the tree. It was... Her sister was told to go out and look for buzzards.
Oh no, to see if there was a body.
To see if there was a body. It's absolutely shockingly heartbreaking. Her brother Chuck, the one that was sent out on the search party, he has been and done lots of news programs and things, and he's tried to keep
Maria's name out there.
He's appealed things with the conviction and the exoneration, but it's not got anywhere.
But this is the thing as well, this takes over their entire life.
It has done.
Like, how old must he was older than Maria.
He was 11.
So he's at least 60, like late 60s now.
Yeah.
And it's his whole life has probably been about finding justice for his sister, and that's not a way to live. That's not a carefree childhood.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. When I started this case, I didn't know. I was like, oh, a cold case, it's been resolved. Woohoo! No,
Not woohoo.
Not woohoo at all. Not woohoo at all. So that's that one. And
that was horrifying.
That's probably, I won't do another one like that for a little while. I've actually chosen my next, and it's going to be something a little bit more light-hearted.
Okay.
No trigger warnings in the next one.
Mine has trigger warnings, but there's also
the next
light.
one from me, sorry. Yeah.
There's also light in it, is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Well, that was horrible, but maybe it gives people an insight into what actually happens in the true crime world, in the sense that, you know, there's all these laws, you believe in justice, and it just doesn't always happen that way.
I know, I don't think I've sent a very good message from this one. We always try and do a
it's
little
not
bit
your
of a
message, though.
But
yeah,
the outcome is what it is, and I'm gutted for the family, totally. I'm gutted for the people that shared their stories, for his sister who bravely came forward and was let down by the system. She didn't want to either. Apparently she didn't want to come forward.
Well, you wouldn't want to, would you? But her
because
sense of justice overtook that, and the thought of the other side of the case, the family.
And I have respect for her for coming forward. I have respect for anybody that comes forward and discloses things of that nature, because it takes a tremendous amount of courage.
Of course, yeah.
And I just hope that they get the support afterwards that they deserve, and that even though it didn't result in a conviction, I think
everybody knows who did it.
Yeah, we know. So that's
that.
Wrap it up, baby.
Thank you for that, I guess.
Thank you.
I'm sat here kind of shell-shocked.
I've just realised the day this goes out is our mid-birthday, and I will be older and you will be younger, but we'll do a TikTok because it's our birthday.
Yeah, we got presents.
Have we?
Well, I've got your present.
I ain't got yours.
So what are we opening on this TikTok video?
Oh no, it's not a present. It's just wait and see. You can't open your present a day early anyway.
Oh, so you get to do stuff and I don't?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll have cake.
Oh, we'll definitely have cake. If we could just, again, remind you to like, follow, share. If you've got friends that are true crime podcast listeners, please let them know about us. That would be fabulous.
We'd love you forever and ever.
Well, we do anyway, because they listen.
Yeah, we love you.
So,
we love you. Sorry.
This episode is out on our mid-birthday, and
I've lost the plot.
The plot has never been had in this case. I'm starving, so
we're
we
going
need
to
to
go
go
eat.
All right then. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Keep on trucking.